Eli. Kentucky runner, 790 dial over here on the tower side. Jaden Nance plugs in a 798. Down to the finish line. Let's put the wind light on Jaden Nance's side of the racetrack. He earned it on the tree. 018 up front, 805 down to the finish line for the win. Eli Wiggins, he was tighter on the 790 dial, 200ths over, but 700ths deficit off the Christmas tree helped Jaden Nance advance to round 3. Ava Valencia and Caden Richardson. Ava Valencia taking the win. 1 hun over the dial. Richardson dead 9. 300ths advantage for Ava. Needed every bit of it to turn on the wind light to go to round 3. Shanna Douglas, Mia Rabarski up next. Mia out of Tinley Park, Illinois, 799. Rick keeping that car tuned up. Shanna Douglas, 790. Looks like we got about 2 pair of juniors, and it'll be JEGS Super quick. Round 2, the war will continue. Red light start for Shanna Douglas by 17th thou, and Mia Rabarski will take the journey into round 3. 799 with an 8 off a 799 dial for Mia. 025 clean and green. And I believe we're down to our last pair of round 2 of junior majors. Shelby Hall, Grady Wiggins will close out round 2. 790 for Grady in the right lane. 802 for Shelby Hall. Rusty Hall tuned junior dragster. Looks like the tractor's going to do probably a little lap around the Christmas tree and clean things up super quick. Dennis chomping at the bit, ready to run. 10-4. Shelby Hall taking the win as Grady Wiggins picked up the red light start there. All right, JEGS Super Quick coming at us. Pro Cars, we are ready for you. Pro Cars to lanes 17 and 18, please. Pro Cars, need all of you to 17 and 18. Ben Harold, with your orange Camaro, you're the eligible buy. You can park it under the crossover bridge off to the side. The rest of my Pro Cars left in competition to 17 and 18, please.
So, a quick shuffle around the Christmas tree with the tractor. Quick grooming on the starting line as we're getting ready to go a little bit quicker and faster, or quite a bit quicker and faster with the Super Quick Series. Looks like first pair up's going to be Greg Gask and Danny Wood as we go into round number 2, down to 16 cars here. Super Quick Series race. All right, so the drag comes off the track. We're getting ready to go hot once again. Round number 2 action of the JEGS Super Quick Series. Round 2 eliminations. We're down to 16 cars. We're going to have our first pair of cars coming to life here in just a moment. We're going to press on through the night, try to get this done. A couple more rounds of Super Quick Series and continue on to cut the Super Pro, Pro ET, Sportsman classes in half. We started out with like 98 Super Pro cars here this evening. Started out at 5 o'clock, 98 Super Pro cars, like 300 cars on the property. Start eliminations at 5 o'clock with buybacks. We're going to go all ways. So Greg Gaskin rolling in here on the left side of the racetrack. Comes out of Indianapolis. He and Lisa, they'll dial in at 451. So 451 dial in for Doug Wood, Wabash, Indiana-based runner here on the Tower side. So heads up racing at its finest here under the lights. Raceway Park. That's pretty cool, man. Greg Gaskin, Danny Wood. Going to leave, hit the tree at the same time, race to the stripe. Best reaction time, closest to the dial is going to win this race. Be a lot of fun. Sit back and watch. Greg Gaskin coming, he's 34 coming into the field with a 456. Danny Wood started out this evening, number 4 qualifier with a 450 best. and they're both dialed in at 4:51. Looks like Greg Gaskin thinks he's got a little bit of game for Danny Wood. Let's watch and see. Win line says Greg Gaskin. He and Leeson take the win at 4:55 on a 51, 151 miles an hour. A little bit better reaction time for Greg. That's going to bring up our next pair. Going to be Joe Swanson and Allison Prose. Joe on the left lane out of Trafalgar, Indiana. Afton Swanson and Toon Dragster, 450. Be Joe's chosen dial. Came into the program qualified number 14 this evening. And 451 best. He dials it down to a 450. Allison Prose, number 23 qualifier. Car's been running on a string, those 453s. She put up a 453 up on a scoreboard for a dial-in. We'll see how close Allie can run to the number. She's just about dead even off the start. Good close competition here tonight. Red light foul, Joe Swanson. Allie Prose moves on to round number 3. She'll run a 452 with an 8, 2,000s under, 153 miles an hour for the win. Allison Prose advances into round 3. Brings up now Jake Smith and Devin Eisenhower. Jake Smith, the runner out of Terre Haute, Indiana. He's dialed 451. Number 1 qualifier here this evening. And 450 with an O, dead on. Devin Eisenhower, here at the tower side, is American Chassis Dragster, number 9 qualifier. 450 with a 9, he'll dial 450. So just about heads up racing, 451 to a 450. Let's watch and see. So I've watched Devin Eisenhower apply his trade here out the Division III races. Not really sure of Jake Smith's capability, but if I was a betting man, I'd put money on Devin. Down at the stripe, win light says Jake Smith. You could have took my money right there, Ronnie. 451 on a 451 with a 653 miles an hour for the win for Jake Smith. Devin Eisenhower had a little bit better reaction time. Ran a 452 on a 450. So Jake Smith closer to the dial. Steve Hedger Jr. and Hunter Patton. Hunter Patton up from the burnout here on the tower side. He and Christy Ship come out of Floyd's Knobs end to end with this entry. They'll dial the car at 455, 456 to dial in for Steve Hedger on the left side of the racetrack. Runner out of Independence, Kentucky is 2012 undercover chassis dragster. Chevrolet Ford matchup here. Ford in the left lane. Just about heads up racing once again. Steve Hedger Jr. also doubled another in the Super Pro. He's still in competition in Super Pro. Looking to carry the win into round number 3 in the Super Quick Series. Pretty solid race, side-by-side action. Steve Hedger comes out on top on a double breakout situation. Runs a 455 with an 8 on a 456 dial, closer to the dial at 150 miles an hour. Steve Hedger advances. Brings up now Megan Miller. She'll be the lady backing up from the burnout on the left side of the racetrack, little small block blower car. 92 vintage dragster. Rodney and Mary Miller co-crew chiefs on the car. Megan chose the dial at 455. Come into the program on the bump spot with number 32 qualifier, 456. She'll be taking on her opponent here on the Dodge SRT side of the racetrack, Logan Jamison. Logan, the Boonville, Indiana-based runner. This is 2016 Wraithcraft chassis dragster, 565 cubic inch entry. 20-year-old drag racer here on the tower side. He'll dial in at 450. So Megan Miller, 455. Logan Jamison, 450. Dial-ins are set. Cars roll in, getting ready to go. Logan came into the program number 7 qualifier tonight, 450 with a 7. Good, consistent race car right there. was all Logan from the start to the finish. 28 reaction time. Megan Miller left 3 numbers back here at the starting line. Logan runs 4:59. That's all he needs to have. At 131 miles an hour, that's going to put him in round number 3. Down to 8 cars. Next pair up, Chris Sullivan and Jeremiah Hall. Chris Sullivan, the 2019 Andy Nelson Racecraft chassis dragster. More of that Oakley horsepower. Man comes out of Auburn, Illinois. He's down 452. Started out this evening, number 11 qualifier with a 450 best attempt. Taking on the man, Firecracker Performance, Jeremiah Hall. Jerry Hall overseeing that operation out of Evansville, Indiana. Jeremiah started out number 1 qualifier, got bumped back to number 3. Number 3 with 450 with 1, dials 450, runs it out to 450 with a 7 for the win at 151 miles an hour. Jeremiah Hall is going to round in number 3. Going to end the night for Chris Sullivan. That now brings up Jay Oakley and Scott Carnan. Jay Oakley, of course, heard us announce earlier on in the evening, fresh off a super quick win out of Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis. Built by Kentucky-based runner, American chassis dragster. He's down 453. Scott Carmen's down 454. A couple of runners out of Kentucky. Hardsburg, Kentucky, the home town for Scott Carmen. No ducks here, man. Jay Oakley, Scott Carmen, both guys know their way to the winner's circle. Would be a sweet night for C.J. Oakley double down this weekend. Go 2 for 2, super quick series. Red light foul for Scott Harmon. That just increased Jay Oakley's chances of doubling down out here. A little bit quicker than a dial. He runs 4:51 on a 53, but a first or worse situation. And the red light came on for Scott Carmen, handing the win light over to Jay Oakley into round number 3. He'll go. Brings up Mike Schottinger and Tony Royer. Mike, the man out of Lewisburg, Ohio, left side of the racetrack. This McIlvain chassis dragster. 450 will be the dial in on the left side of the racetrack alongside of Tony Royer's 454 dial. Spitzer chassis car out of Indianapolis here on the tower side.
All right, hopefully my pro cars have all made it to 17 and 18. If you're not there, you are late, late, late. Super Pro, stand by. Super Pro, stand by, please. All right, attention in the pits, Super Pro. We are ready for you to lane 15 and 16. Super Pro, if you're left in competition, need you to lane 15 and 16. My eligible buy for Super Pro this round will be Steve Hedger Jr. Steve just went down the track here a minute ago, turning on a wind light in the Super Quick Series. And Steve Hedger Jr., you got the eligible buy. You can park under the crossover bridge off to the side. I need the rest of the Super Pro cars to 15 and 16 at this time.
Tony Royer coming to life first in the water box. And Mike Schenninger finishes his burnout procedure. Once again, the dial ins on the bottom of the scoreboard. It's 450 for Mike, 454 for Tony. Had a little bit of debris down on the track. We went down and picked it up. That's why we were quiet for a little bit and calling cars to the lanes. So Mike comes into the program tonight, number 33 qualifier with a 456. And Tony Royer was number 25 qualifier. 453 was his best attempt down the track. Actually, 453 with a 9, so he's safe. 454 the dial. Here we go. So last pair of cars in competition is Super Quick. Round number 3. Round number 2. I'm sorry, we're going into round number 3 with this last pair. Reaction time advantage goes to Mike with an 013 light double breakout situation on the top end. 449 with an 8 on a 450. Closer to the dial is Mike, and that puts him in round number 3.
All right, just looking ahead to here, you're welcome, racers, to stay overnight here in the pit area, but you must be out of here by noon. They're going to lock the gates, and you'll be having to be part of the mowing crew Monday. So again, racers, you're welcome to stay overnight, but you must be out of here by noon. We'll be locking the gates at noon tomorrow.
So here we go, round 3, Pro ET coming right at you. Louis Weatherford staging up on the left side of the racetrack as he completes his burnout procedure, the big 67 Chevrolet Biscayne. He'll dial the car into 647 alongside of Joey Shipp. Joey's 69 Nova NHRA legal stocker staging up on the tower side of the racetrack. Joey dials her into 706. So 647 to a 706, here we go. Joey Shipp and Louis Weatherford getting set, ready to do battle, trying to advance on to round number 4. Down at the stripe, it's Joey Shipp for the win. 707 at 90 miles an hour.
All right, listen up. This is round 3 of Pro. This is the payout round starting for Pro. And backside of the Parks Tower, blue awning, that's where you can circle in to grab your money. So again, this is the payout round starting round 3 for the Pro class right here.
So Joe Tillman takes the win. 751 was the dial. He'll run 751 at a 90. Next pair up, John Borzik, the Bitter Lime Machine, runner up down out of Westville, Indiana. 1970 GTX Plymouth. He'll be taking on Jim Harness, Kokomo, Indiana-based runner. Good-looking little 64 Chevy Deuce. 670 the dial in for Jim Harness. 614 for John Borzik. That Bitter Lime Machine's got a lot of laps up and down the drag strip. Yeah, he's had that car brand new. Wind light says Jim Harness. 670 on a 670 with a little bit of change at 101 miles an hour. Put him in round number 4, and that's going to bring up our next pair. Dustin Brenton out of Rosedale, Indiana. His 69 Nova on the left side of the racetrack. He's down 635, and to take on Bob Eaker. Canby, Indiana-based runner, just a gorgeous black 65 Nova, 447 small block. So Bob Eaker, Dustin Brenton, 635 to a 617, and here we go. Down at the finish line, it's going to be Dustin Brenton for the win. 635 on a 635. A little bit better reaction time at 106 miles an hour. Next pair up, Josh Rogers and Gary Arola. Josh Rogers, man, on the left side of the racetrack out of Brazil, Indiana. Little Chevy S10 pickup truck, an LS motor. 631 will be the dial in, alongside of Gary Arola's 91 Z28 small block Chevrolet. Camaro comes out of Crawfordsville, Indiana. He's dialed 660. 660, 631. Away they go. Both cars away clean and green. A little bit of reaction time advantage on Josh Rogers' side, but Gary Arola is going to make it pay off when he gets to the stripe. 662 on a 660, 102, good enough for a round win. Brings up Gary Hillier and Chris Walker. Gary Hillier, left side of the racetrack, 66 Mustang out of Plainfield. Small block, true Ford horsepower. 347 cubic inch entry, he's dialed 706. Alongside of Chris Walker's 67 Chevrolet Camaro. That's a gorgeous little car too, I gotta tell you. It's like a car show out here right now. Classic Mustang Camaro matchup here. Chris Walker, Paris, Illinois based runner. He's dialed 742. Pretty good old drag racing progress here. Just about dead even out of the gate. Down at the stripe, the wind light says Greg Hillier. 708 on a 706, 94 miles an hour as Chris Walker breaks out. Brings up our next pair. Scott Stillings. 98 Grand Am NHRA Super Stock Legal Modified machine. Scott's dialed in at 564. And he'll be taking on Chad Eaton in his immaculate 85 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Paris, Illinois-based runner. Chad's dialed 740. Chad Eaton's going to get down the track in about 2 seconds, then we get to hear that A modified coming to life. That high, wide, and small block going to work. Wind light says Scott Stillings, 564, 123 on a 564. How about a 564 with a 1? I think he's got that car sorted out. Here comes Wesley Butler, 91 Mustang. Indianapolis-based runner. He's dialed at 764, taking on Mike Covey, the Martinsville, Indiana-based runner. 72 Chevrolet Camaro. 635 will be the dial in on the tower side. 1 3/10 difference. Wes Butler goes red right away. Mike Covey takes the win line with an 0:37 reaction time. He's looking for a 6:35, and he'll run 6:37 at 106 in the round number. Continue on here, Pro ET, round 3 action. Looking now at our next pair of competitors. So Mike Toole and James Gibbs getting set and ready to do battle. Mike Toole, left side of the racetrack, comes out of West Terre Haute. 87 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 612 chosen dial. Alongside it, Mooresville, Indiana-based 66 Dart, James Gibbs. 683 is chosen. So away we go, on down towards the 8th mile clocks. At the stripe, it's going to be James Gibbs. The little 66 Dart takes the win, 684 on an 83 at 99 miles an hour. Next pair up. Continuing on here, Pro ET. Round 3 action. It's going to be Jason Long and Ray Boyer III. Jason Long, the 72 Dart, left side of the racetrack out of Martinsville, Indiana. He'll dial 626. Ray Boyer here, the Logansport-based runner, the 79 Z28 here on the tower side. The Boyer family racing entry will dial it in at 633. 626, 633, that sets the stage. Here comes the race. Red light foul for Ray Boyer. Jason Long, 0:25 reaction time. He was a little late getting in on the tree. It's all right. He'll take the win, 625 on a 26. A little bit quick on the dial, but runs 108 miles an hour for the win. That puts him in a round number 4. And here comes Travis Booth, Jeff Blanchard. Travis, farmer out of Trafalgar, Indiana, the Mustang. Dialed 804 alongside of Jeff Blanchard's Lowell, Indiana-based 2013 Mustang. 671, his chosen dial. All right, Travis Booth going to take the win, 811 on an 804. Looking over his shoulder when he gets to the stripe. Jeff Blanchard had him covered here at the starting line. Couldn't parlay it into the win. Car fell off a 705, 99 miles an hour. So Travis Booth's going to advance. Brings up our next pair. Zach Gosnell and Austin Day. Zach, left side of the racetrack, 27 Model T out of Lebanon, Indiana. He's dialed 551. The door car for Austin Day, the 79 Malibu, Indianapolis, his hometown. He'll dial 647. So 551, 647. 9/10 of a second difference. Austin Day is going to lead first and Zach Gosnell on a pass, but I got to tell you, Austin Day's got him covered. Perfect reaction time. Round 3 action for Austin Day. He'll run 6:51 on a 47 at 105 miles an hour. He's going to get one of those stickers.
Austin Day, he's got to come up and see us. Race Control, we got a sticker for you.
Perfect reaction time for Austin Day, and that's going to put him in around number 4. Here we go. Next pair, Troy Galbraith, stepping out of the comp eliminator car and running his little 74 Pontiac Grand Dams NHRA stock legal entry out of Warsaw, Indiana. 795, his chosen dial, and will take on David Monday. Overdale, Indiana-based 1967 Dodge Dart. So 602 the dial in for Dave, 795 from Troy. Man, I was just getting ready to brag about my man Troy. When Troy's on, he's good. When he's good, he's really good. Just goes red by 3,000 right now, handing the win light over to Dave Monday. Dave's going to go 604, 112 for the win. Brings up now Gage Brenton and Brad Moore. Gage out on the left side of the racetrack. 72 Chevrolet Nova. 408 small block out of Rosedale, Indiana. He's dialed 656 alongside a Brad Moore 68 Camaro. Brad comes to the starting line here out of Fairland, Indiana. 596 will be his chosen dial. So 0.6 the difference. You can see it on the tree. Away they go. Gage looking good early on. Here comes Brad. Finish line says Gage holds them off with an 0.14 reaction time. Runs right on the number with a 3 at 101 miles an hour. That's a pretty good package from Gage Brent. Here comes Flamin' Frank Valencia. Runner out of Frankfort, Indiana, in his Flame Pontiac Trans Am. He's dialed 618 alongside of TJ Dobbs. Dobbs out of Indianapolis, 85 S10 pickup truck. He'll be staging up here on a tower's side. 723 the dial in on the pickup. So 618 to a 723. TJ head on down to tower side first. So there goes TJ. Here comes Frankie. And they're just about dead even out of the gate. They're going to take this battle all the way down to the 8th mile clocks. Wind light says Frank Valencia. I think his daughter's still in, and Ava's still in the junior dragster category. So Frank and Ava looking good. Frank runs dead on a number with an 8 at 108 miles an hour. A little bit better reaction time. Frank's looking pretty good this evening. Ben Harrell's going to be our bye run. Going to solo into round number 4 with his 72 Camaro. He's a runner out of Indianapolis. 706 will be his chosen dial. He gets a freebie into round number 4. So Ben Harold making a solo pass down the left side of the racetrack. 018 reaction time, good enough. Look at the numbers though, 706 with a 2 on a 706 at 99 miles an hour. I'm gonna say Ben's got that car sorted out as well.
All right, just a reminder, Pro, your payout round is round 3. That's what we just finished up. Pro, your payout. Down at the base of the Parks Tower backside, there's a blue awning. Hang a left through the double doors, get your payout.
So Warren Evans is going to step in and tell you everything he knows about the Super Pro category as we continue on here tonight. Warren, here you go.
Well, here's what I know. I know I can't afford one of these. I know it's a lot of fun to watch them. I know there's a bunch of them here still in competition. We're off to a good start. I like it. That's what Dennis said. Kyle Darr, left side. He's got a West Coast competition number. Not sure exactly what that means. That's 777K. All I know is he's right here in Indianapolis. He's got a 486 on the dial-in board. He'll be chasing down Rob Stacy from New Carlisle, Ohio, the American chassis machine, with a 509 up on the Dodge SRT scoreboard. This is round 3. Trace dos, not quattro. Not good for Rob Stacy as he is being backed off the starting line. Not sure if he's got a little fluid out of the car or just what's going on. A little bit of a Chinese fire drill going on out there. In the meantime, Kyle Dar had already lit the top bulb. Stacy jumps right up there. Lit them both. And for Stacy, some troubles with the transmission as he rolled it deep. And Kyle Dar, apparently braver than he ought to be, goes 2 over 488 at 140, full throttle to the other end. He was 033 on the tree. Rob Stacy watched the whole pass as he sat here on the starting line and watched the whole thing. Kyle Dar could have given it back on the breakout, but fortunately for him, he did not. Rob Stacy, 1498 at 50 miles an hour. And for Rob Stacy, looks like after he left the starting line, he might have moved out towards the outside wall, which, if that is the case, we hope that is the case. A little tough to tell from our vantage point because we're right up against the wall. Corey Breton and Scott Deffenbaugh wait their turn. A pair of door cars coming up now. And this is not a great sign. Seeing the torch come out. Means we got to cook off a little bit of fluids out there. And the torch is lit. We'll get things dried up as quick as we can. Scott Deffenbaugh watches patiently from where he sits. Super Pro round 3 coming at you now. So to clarify, round 3 was a payout round in Pro. Round 4 will be a payout round in Super Pro. We just want to make sure that that is clear. But round 3 in Pro, you got money coming. You could head to the bottom of the tower. What time does the tractor pull start? As I'm constantly reminded, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park is a multi-purpose motorsport facility. You know, it was the home of a road course for many, many years, the drag strip, the oval track, and by golly, we can put tractors down right here on the east side as well. Yes, up at Norwalk, they had a tractor pull. They actually put, I don't know how many tons of dirt on the racetrack to do it there, whereas here, we're alongside the racetrack, which is a better long-term solution, I believe. In the meantime, the drying process continues out here. As Ron told you earlier, tomorrow, once we finish up tonight, tomorrow you can stay overnight. Tomorrow, though, you will need to vacate the premises by noon. That'd be 12 o'clock Eastern time. Need to be out the front gate because they're going to lock it behind you. Locking the gates at noon o'clock tomorrow. So gauge yourselves accordingly.
And as Warren mentioned, the payout rounds for Pro, round 3, we're done with that. Sportsman will be this round. Round 3 for your payout. JEGS Super Quick, round 3. Everyone else is round 4.
Okay. Well, I'm confused, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll explain it to me. Super Pro is round 4, correct?
That's what my wife told me.
Motorcycles? Round 4?
I think motorcycles, they said everyone else round 4.
Everyone else round 4.
That came from the gal that writes the
Write your
dollar
check.
signs, that writes the dollar signs on the payout sheets that go downstairs. So I'm safe.
That's the one that
I'm
writes
good.
your allowance check, correct?
Well, something like that.
Yeah.
As long as I'm good, as long as I mow the yard at home, wash the cars, and do the laundry and vacuum the floors.
So basically you're saying you don't get your allowance every week.
No, not when I don't get my jobs done. That happens occasionally. Sometimes you got to goof off, Warren.
I try frequently, but I fortunately or not fortunately, I'm not home enough to goof off at home.
I think you're smarter than I am. You're not home at much to do those jobs.
First of all, yes, I am smarter than you are. We can stop this argument right now. But yes, I don't get suckered into the jobs at home.
You're on the road all the time,
I
so
am
you're
on the
never
road
at home.
all the time.
You're smart. That's what I say. You're smarter than I am. You got this figured out.
Long time ago, buddy.
All right, we got cars fired up.
All right, the torch is going to be put down. It is put down. Now it's Corey Britton, left side. How about the Mustang over there? And Scott Deffenbaugh, the vinyl topped Super Sport over here on the right. 66 Nova out of Lebanon, Indiana. Deffenbaugh got it dialed to 557. He'll be on the chase, giving up almost a full bulb head start to Corey Britton's 597. Over there on the left side. Ford on the left, Chevrolet on the right. Both of them let go and head for the other end. One of them was a heck of a lot better than the other one. And that's the guy that lights the scoreboard. Scott Deffenbaugh, 002 on the tree, 563 at 124 for the win. Corey Britton got down there. He got there first and broke out 596.9 at 113. 1 thou. He was 41 ten-thousandths of a second. If he'd have been 40 or less, he would have won that race. Wow, that's how tight it was at the top end. Scott Deffenbaugh gets the win on the breakout by Corey Britton. Cody Allenbaugh, Amber Egan coming up next. Allenbaugh out of Terre Haute. That's the S10 left side, 663. Off and running. Here comes Amber Egan. Turns it red by 005. Cody is 007 up front. 662 at 101 for the win. Goes 7 thousandths under and was 7 thou from perfect on the reaction timer. Some people will do the math and say that's a perfect run. Well, good enough to get the win. Amber Egan, 005 red light start, 487.6 at 140. And Amber's day is done here in Super Pro. Attention in the pit area, we need sportsmen. Sportsmen to the lanes, lanes 13 and 14. Sportsmen, your eligible buy is Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray, you're the eligible buy, and sportsman, you want to come up here and pull over under the crossover bridge. Sportsmen 13 and 14, Craig Allender and Doug Foley Jr. Doug Foley on his way back right now from the Spring Fling Million. Stops by. See if he can pick up a little traveling cash here. And we're getting a dial-in correction here, 466 for Doug Foley. little hard to read these dial-in boards. It's a little bit dark out there, plus the tint on the windows doesn't help anything. Craig Allender, 480, will leave first. The dragster on the left side gets the head start. But almost didn't take advantage of it. Foley in control and for the win. 473 at 134 for your winner, Doug Foley. 13 on the tree. He had 500 in his back pocket. Allender, 5 over 485 at 141. He was 67 on the tree. That's not very good here in Super Pro. And Doug Foley by 300ths of a second. Flips on the wind bolt. Cody Knott, Bill Kasner roll up now. Door cars, or door truck and door car, if you want to say that. Cody Knott, Little Red S10 left side, 667 on the window. Bill Kasner, right side, the 71 Duster, 578. Kasner out of Kokomo. Cody Knott from Greencastle. Head start left side by almost 2 bulbs on the Christmas tree. He is in. Kasner rolls in. And the red light start for the Mopar by 19 thousandths of a second. It's pretty easy to see that tree when it's dark out there. Cody Knott for the win, 666 at 101 on the 667. He's 1 under, but it doesn't matter. It's a free look. Bill Kasner turns it red and then off pace, 642, 80 miles per hour. Tony Virgilio, Crazy Tony over there on the left-hand side out of Cloverdale, Indiana. 2020 Miller chassis machine. The green machine on the left, taking on Andrew Harmless from Nineveh, Indiana. 1970 Nova. Harmless trying to go 703. Big time spot over here on the right, more than 2 seconds. Tony Virgilio will be tracking him down with a 493 dial-in on the left. There goes the door car. Here comes the dragster. Coin flip at the starting line. 15 to a 14, and it's Tony getting it done. 496 at 131. Got down there and caught him. He was 3 over. 496 on the 93. He was 15 on the tree. Andrew Harmless was 14 on the tree. 707 on a 703. He was 4 over at 93 miles an hour. Good old drag race right there. The dragster gets it done. Justin Dillman and Michael Turner coming up next. 2 more door cars coming at you. Dillman, the 85 Camaro, 3rd gen machine with a 663. Michael Turner, the 84 Fiero with the Ohio crankshaft power, holding up the hood scoop. Here comes the Fiero, trying to make up the difference with Dillman. You see Dillman tickling the brake lights there. Dillman knew what to do on the double breakout. It's Dillman for the win. 661 with a 4 at 101. So he broke out by 16 thousandths of a second. Michael Turner broke out by 18 thousandths of a second as he went 520 with a 2 at 132. Margin of victory, 25 10,000ths of a second. Here's Nathan Jones coming up now, another of the S10s. Maybe we should have an S10 Nationals. I bet we could get about 50 of them. 613 the dial left, 609 on the right for Kevin Redenbow out of Delphi, Indiana, the 75 Vega. 400's the spot going to the left side. Once again, sportsman cars. Sportsman cars, you should be in the lanes 13 and 14. And you're eligible by Jerry Gray. 3 thou separate them on this end. Wind light on that end. How about a pair of dead-on runs? Nathan Jones was 36 on the tree and then goes dead 4. That's 40 total. Kevin Redenbow was 39 on the tree, dead 3. That's 42 total by 2 thousandths of a second. Nathan Jones picks up the wind light to go on to round number 4. 6:13 with a 4 at 1:07. Wesley Wells and Logan Jameson coming up. Dragsters now side by side. Wells out of Greenwood, Indiana. He'll be trying to go 5:07 on the left. Logan Jameson will give up the spot. 4:51, the number on the right for Jameson out of Boonville. So just a touch over Bulb on the lead. And Jameson can't wait long enough. 006 red light for Logan Jameson. Wesley Wells was 15 up front, dead 8 at the finish line. Good run there for Wesley Wells to move on. 136 for the speed. Logan goes under 449. That's too quick on his 451. And he turned it red up here by 006. Nicole Medicis out of Palmetto, Florida, by way of the Chicagoland area. Medicis with a 488 on the left-hand scoreboard. Ty Davis out of Mooresville, Indiana, the 32 Bantam Alter, former U.S. Nationals champion in Super Comp, with a 488 on the scoreboard. As our buddy Nick Agresta would say, a ditto dial. Identical left and right. Tree fires for both. One of them's 300ths better than the other one. He got down there and took a little too much stride. Ty Davis breaks out by 8 thousandths of a second. 487.2 on the 488. He was better on the tree. 14 to a 44. Nicole gets the win. She was on the safe side. 489 on the 88 dial at 130 miles an hour. Davis is out of here. Medicis moves on to a payout round in round number 4. Braden Bowden, Manuka, Illinois. And Jason Dorsett out of Indy. Bowden, the dragster, 461. Dorsett, the wheel-standing little Mopar, the Dodge Colt, 639 the dial. Once again, Sportsman Cars, final call. Sportsman, final call. Red light start as he hangs them high, yanking them out of the beams. 008 too early for Dorsett. Bowden 459 on the 61 dial in. That's all right. That's a free look at it. 150 for the speed. Jason Dorsett, 008 red, 640 at 107. Dorsett gets to put it back in the trailer. Cody Wiggins and Bob Prose coming up now. Wiggins out of Keville, Kentucky, broke the dragster earlier. Now is in the El Camino. 625 is the performance prediction. He'll go first. Bob Prose will be on the chase in that good-looking first-gen Camaro Roadster out of Terre Haute for Honey Creek Collision. I'd say Bob's in trouble. Wiggins, better light, wind light. 626 of 107 for Wiggins. He was 12 on the tree. Better package all the way around. He was 19 and 1237. Bob Prose had a very small window, 5 thou window. He couldn't sneak inside it. 495 on the 494 at 135 miles per hour. Now it's Tom Small from Indianapolis. Peter says that's a first-generation Camaro. And it is. Can't see it very well from here. Ryan Wallace out of Edinburgh, Indiana. Diamond chassis dragster on the right. 461 the dial right side. 549 left side. The door car. Make his charge towards the scoreboards first. Deep stage for the dragster. He rolls on through. Wallace went to set the brake, rolled right on through for Tom Small. Automatic win, 552 at 126. Ryan Wallace went to set the trans brake, and the car kept on rolling. So he'll get a time ticket, but really doesn't matter. 1902 at 32 for Ryan Wallace. As soon as he clears the top end of the track, we'll be ready to go with our next pair. That's going to be Bailey Crowell out of Evansville, Indiana, the dragster. And how about the door car over here of Michael Smith? The Nova right side. Smith says he's going to go 568. That's what's up on the scoreboard right side, the Dodge SRT lane. On the Johnson's horsepower garage side of the track, Crowell says 450 is my number. All 4 bulbs lit on the tree. One of them is 004. And it wasn't that dragster, I can tell you that. Michael Smith, 573 on the 568. 004 letting go of the button. Bailey Crowell, well, let's just say it was not 004. 473 on the 450 at 148. Trouble plagued run all the way around for Crowell. And frustration will set in. Followed by anger, followed by depression, followed by drinking. Tabitha Carmen and Ashley Cole will come up, the young ladies, left and right. Tabitha out of Hardensburg, Kentucky. S10 dialed to 674. Gets to go first. Ashley's little Corvette, 530 on the LED board. Good race right here. They're 2 thou apart on this end. Ashley, how about this for Ashley? 18 on the tree, dead one. That's 19. Tabitha was 20 on the tree and locked out. She had a 1 thou window. She still was only 5 over, dead 5. So by 4 thousandths of a second, it's Ashley Cole getting the job done. Dominic Bowden and Jonathan Wagner coming up next. Bowden out of Manuka, Illinois with a 445. Jonathan Wagner alongside with a 452. Wagner out of Chandler, Indiana. That's the dragster on the right. Bowden, 445. That's the dragster on the left. 0.07 of a second difference here on the tree as it counts down. Red by 002. Bowden turns it red. Jonathan Wagner, 458, 150. Bowden 002 RED, then a 450 and 154. But Jonathan Wagner pick up the win ticket, come back for another round. Here's Dustin Brenton and Allison Prose coming up now. Allison in the Camaro. For Dustin Brenton, 69 Nova with the rally stripes on the left. Allison Prose with that showpiece Camaro over here on the right. One of those beautiful race cars that comes out of Honey Creek Collision. Looks like we got a little bit of fuel perhaps out on the racetrack. We're going to check that out, make sure everything is good. In the meantime, Dustin Brenton, 636 on the dial-in board. Allison Prose puts 576 on the window. And we're going to give that right-hand lane a pretty good look before we send Miss Allison down the track. So as we take a look out there, just want to take care of a little housekeeping up here. We had mentioned earlier throughout the day that we were going to have a Racers for Christ chapel service tomorrow, but because tomorrow's activities have been called off due to the impending weather, we have also called off our chapel service tomorrow. Hopefully you can find a house of worship that you can join in and hear the message and partake in that tomorrow, but it will not be at the racetrack as we have gone ahead and called that off, as well as our racing activities for tomorrow. So the quad rolls out through the short chute. The reds are turned off on the tree. That means Dustin Britton and Allison Pros will get their turn right now. Allison 002 on the red side. Her killer instinct got her that time. Dustin Britton 635 at 107. Dustin is your winner. For Allison, she was 002 red, and then she ran it out the back door. She went 558 on a 576. At 123 miles an hour. I think that was frustration more than anything else, as Allie legged it out. So Allie's still hanging in there in our JEGS Super Quick as we're getting down to the round of 8 cars. That'll be coming up in just a little bit. Jake Smith, Ray Boyer the third roll up now. 451 on the left, 635 on the right. Second generation Z28 on the right hand side will leave first on that 635. Jake's dragster trying to gather him up, wheels up for the Camaro. Here comes the dragster, charging hard, got some room to make up. Breaks out trying to get, can't get there. I'm sorry, I was misreading it. 451.8 on a 451 for Jake Smith, but guess what? 67 on this end. Ray Boyer, he's dead 9 down there, 635.9 at 106. He was 11 on the tree. The 500ths at the starting line was the margin of victory. 500ths at the finish line for Ray Boyer. Dad's toy goes on. So Jake Smith still alive in Super Quick. Well, how about this pair of race cars right here? May not think much about it, but a pair of hitters really on the starting line. Joe Swanson, Trafalgar, Indiana. So for Joe and Afton, this is a new car. Joe campaigned for years and years on motorcycles. Then he became crew chief for his wife Afton, who's a multi-time national event winner in Top Dragster. They moved to Indiana. Joe got a dragster. He's out here racing today against Joey Ship. Ship, number 8 in the world last year in Super Gas. Joe 2-2 quick, 449 on the 451. Joey, dead 5 for the win. 509 with a 5 at 135 in the Cutlass. Sees a wind light down there. Joe, really a great weekend. First competition weekend out with the new car. Afton giving Joe some pointers over there, I think. Here's Tyler Fisher and James Gibbs. Fisher on the bike, the Hayabusa, out of Benton Harbor, Michigan. 593, left side, 683, right side. Gibbs off and running. Here comes the bike. This one's a tight one as well. 6th out part on the front end. How about Gibbs? 683.3, 023. That's 26 total. Fisher was 29. Couldn't do it even if he wanted to. Broke out trying 591 with a 7 at 119. Got there first, but it did not matter. Had no window as Gibbs, if you do the math, gave Fisher no chance for the win. Scott Stillings and Gage Brenton now. Skillings says Bradenton, Florida, actually down by the Louisville area, if I recall correctly, where his home base really has been. A high winded super modified Pontiac over there. 565 with a 1 at 122. 006 on the tree for Gage Brenton. 656 at 100 miles an hour. 25 on the tree. Stillings, a multi-time NHRA world champion, shows you how it's done right there. One more car, the bye run for Steve Hedger Jr., as we call JEGS Super Quick to lanes 15 and 16. 8 cars left in JEGS Super Quick. We need you back to the lanes 15 and 16. Motorcycles beside lane 11, and you will be on the ladder this time around. Motorcycles to the outside of lane 11. 455, 1 on the 455 for Hedger. The Instant Karma machine is dialed dead on. 153 for the speed. Here comes sportsman cars coming up. Once again, we need motorcycles to the side of lane 11. You will be on the ladder. And JEGS Super Quick, 15 and 16. Junior minors, you'll be on a ladder as well, lane 12. And junior major to lane 11, and you'll also be on a ladder. So ladder, 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 ladder. Wheels up, start in the license pass here as the little Nova. We didn't get the memo on the taillights. 614 at 112. So a reminder, racers, our lights are on. Your lights need to be on as well. We need a working tail light. It's difficult to see from the tower because of the window tint. It's for your safety and the safety of everybody else that you have a working tail light on your race vehicle. So please, please, please turn them on. Sportsman cars coming up next. Ron Ruggless is shoving me out of the way. He's about to tell you about it.
Well, not really, Warren, but we got to get these cars rolling as we're trying to get through the evening here. And again, motorcycles, you're on a ladder, need you beside lane 11. Leave a little space, they'll get you matched up. I believe you're in the semis. Junior minors, you're on a ladder, lane 12. Leave a little space up so they got room to pair you up. Junior majors to lane 11, you are on a ladder. Stay back just a little bit so they got room to pair you up. JEGS Super Quick, 15 and 16, we need you. Thank you, Warren Evans. Great job as always. Joe Tillman and Steve step in. Steve Nestle, 81 Camaro, dialing 1264. Quarter of a mile is their distance that they will try to turn on wind lights. Joe Tillman, 1173 over here on the tower side. Round number 3, sportsman. This starts their payout round right here for our sportsman class. Round 3 payout. Base of the Parks Tower on the back side. You'll need to go through there to grab your money. Joe Tillman, Steve taking it down to the quarter mile. Let's see who's going to advance into round 4. It's Joe Tillman, 1179, playing it safe off the 1173 dial. Steve taking the finish line. Too big of a bite out of it. Breaks out by 300, sending Joe Tillman to round 4. And Jeffrey Stillebauer, the Explorer, 1797 left side. Trent Hirsch, 75 Omega, 1218 with a Buick small block under the hood. So the Explorer leaving first. So again, bring them up. Beside lane 11, motorcycles, you're on a ladder. Junior minors need you to lane 12. You are on a ladder, get paired up. Junior majors to lane 11. You're on a ladder. JEGS Super Quick to 15 and 16. Let's roll. Double breakout win goes to Trent over here on the right side, breaking out by 6 thou. Jeff dips in a little lower onto the breakout route, 1788 off the 1797, and Trent will advance. Bubba Mahiran, 67 Ford Galaxy, the powder blue machine with a 1309 dial. Mike Wallens, 80 Malibu, dials in 1174 over there on the Johnson horsepower lane. RPMs come up and a red light on the competition by. Bubba's going to take it solo. Michael not able to ring the bell. Bubba's ringing the bell. 1309's what he's looking for. Let's see what he's got for us. Breaks out by 2 thou. We'll see Bubba round number 4 of Sportsman. Looks like the torch has been brought out for a little bit of touch-up over there on our Johnson's horsepower garage lane, and then we'll be right back at it. So if you got money coming, Pro, again, your payout was round 3 as it starts there. Sportsman, you are into round 3 right now. Your payout round is at the conclusion of round 3. JEGS Super Quick, they'll be up here in just a bit. Their payout round begins in round 3 for the JEGS Super Quick, and all of our other classes, your payout rounds will start round number 4. The money is being collected on the back of the Parks Tower, the blue awning. You can go through the double doors, hang a left. That's where the payout room is being taken care of here this evening. It's like a little bit of cleanup going on out there, so we'll back down here for just a bit. All right, and back to it. Cleanup complete. Ron Bird steps in with a Blazer, 1208 dial over there on the left side. 1328 for Adam Sobiek's 88 Dakota. This is Sportsman, round number 3. Well, the long and short of it, we'll explain it to you here in just a bit as we really have to make sure that we go across the finish line down there to determine a winner. But a 001 for Ron Bird seals the deal. He's 1212 off the 1208 dial. Adam, 1340 off the 1328, and we'll just call it right there as Ron Bird will advance to round 4. Travis Booth, the Crusher, the Mustang, 1279 right side, will chase Angelo Taylor's Horizon, dialing in 1643. And Travis Booth with the Crusher. See the shift light come on there as he heads down track. That Mustang's trying to get the job done down there, still behind, trying to get there. And Angelo Taylor with the win. Dead on with a 6, taking the stripe by 12 thou in the win. Travis Booth, 1285 off the pace there, off the 1279 dial. Actually, Travis had the light just by about 500ths, and I thought Travis was cruising on into the next round, but we don't call him up front. The finish line is where the action and finishes of the race. Here comes Troy Galbraith, Chris Walker. Good race here. Grand Am for Troy, left side, 1252. Chris Walker's 67 Camaro, 1176. Chasing. Passing the 1,000-foot finish line, captures them. Double breakout win goes to Chris Walker, breaking out by 8 thou. Galbraith rolls down there, breaking out by 100th as Chris Walker taking it into round number 4, and Tyler Dillman and Jerry Gray. I believe this will close out this round of the sportsman class. Jerry Gray's 70 red dart, left side, 1527. Tyler Dillman, 1877 in the G6. So Tyler's going to roll it in deep over here on the right side. Clean and green for Dillman. And Jerry is away. So the 70 dart, driven by Jerry Gray, tired of looking at the bumper of that G6 of Tyler Dillman. Pulling up alongside, working at it. Wind light will be on Tyler Dillman's side, 1888 off the 1877 dial. 9 thou deficit for Tyler at the hit. Jerry Gray well off the number, 1561, looking for a 1527. Tyler, your winner. JEGS Super Quick, we're missing 2 of you. Need you up to 15 and 16. JEGS Super Quick, we're missing 2 competitors. Need you back up to 15 and 16 if you would, please. Final call. Motorcycles, you should be beside lane 11. You're into your semifinals. Final call, junior minors, you should be in lane 12 getting laddered up. And junior majors, final call, lane 11, you should be getting laddered up as well down there. Ladders for all of you. Semifinals of the Millennium Trailer Bike class coming at us. I think Dennis is going to pick up the microphone down there and call us through this round.
Sure, you bet. Round 3 action, pro bike category. Marathon bracket race here tonight. Tyler Fisher Staging up alongside of Wesley Wills. There's a pair to draw to. This late in the evening, competition seems to be getting better. Benton Harbor, Michigan, the hometown for Tyler Fisher. It comes out of the Fisher Body Shop up there. 2001 Hayabusa, alongside of Wesley Wells, 2000 Suzuki TL1000. It's going to be an 875 dial for Wesley Wells to a 927 for Tyler Fisher. Tyler competes to burn out in his Hayabusa. Round 3 action, pro bike category. So, semifinal round action here, pro bike category. Tyler Fisher sizing up Wesley Wells. Tyler goes in, pre-stage staged. Here comes Wesley Wells. The tree's coming down. One of these guys is going to the final round. Tyler Fisher, Wesley Wells, side by side off the stripe. High gear charge down towards the finish line. It's going to be Wesley Wells. 875 with a 9 on an 875 at 151 miles an hour. Tyler breaks out by 2. Wasn't sure I was going to get to say this tonight, but it's the other half of the semifinal round. One of these two competitors are, going to have a single. So it looks like Robert Alther is going to single into the final. The Wauwatosa, Wisconsin-based 2000 Harley-Davidson Road King. 977 up on the scoreboard for dial-in. Let's see how close he can run to the number. This is going to put him into the final round here tonight. 008 reaction time for the Harley-Davidson. That's pretty cool. 977 to dial. He runs it out a little bit quicker to 973 for the win at 135 miles an hour. And Harley-Davidson is going to the final round of pro bike. We got a license run coming at you. Attention in the pits, super quick, super quick. We are missing one competitor, super quick. We need you all to the staging lanes at this time, please. Super quick, please and thank you. All right, quarterfinal round action here in the Junior Dragster Minors. Minors is going to take up Nick Barnett, Brazil, Indiana-based runner on the left side of the racetrack. Bob and Jewel Smith, the owners, Boss Chassis Dragster. Nick, dial 1215 alongside of Levi Rooksbury. Levi comes out of Brazil in half-scale dragster. 902, the chosen dial for him, so it's a 1215 to a 902. So it's a red light foul for Nick Barnett. Levi Rooksbury is going to move on. He'll head into the semifinal round. Junior minor category, looking for a 9:02. Runs it out to a 9:11, 72 miles an hour. Next pair up. Wyatt Ray out of Martinsville, Indiana, the 2005 motivational dragster. He's down 1190, taking on Van Swearingen. Van's 891, half-scale dragster. Get the dial in. Final round action here. One of these two are going to the semis here and the junior minors. Well, Van's going to get the win, 896 on an 891, 73 miles an hour, and he'll advance in the semifinal round. So that brings up now Wyatt Morgan, Ashley Murphy. Wyatt Morgan out of Mooresville, Indiana, left side of the racetrack, motivational chassis dragster. Wayne Dewar stock, the crew chief on the car. 1190, the chosen dial, to 1194 for Asher Murphy. Asher Murphy, the runner out of Franklin, Indiana, 2003 Hardin's chassis car. So it's a 1428 to 1194. Pro ET, we need you in the staging lanes, please. Pro ET, lanes 17 and 18. Pro ET, this is your call. Wyatt Morgan and Ashley Murphy in the heat of battle at the 8th mile clocks. Wind light says Wyatt Morgan. He'll advance into the semifinals, 14:33, 43 miles an hour. Looks like Landon Rooksbury is going to be the odd man out in the minor categories. 973 would be the dial in on the car here to the left side of the racetrack. Let's sit back and watch and see if Landon can get somewhere close to a 973. Pro ET racers Austin Day will have the potential bye this round. Austin Day and Pro ET, you will have the potential bye. So Landon looking for a 973, slows down to a 1010 at 68 miles an hour. But I think, you know what? Solo pass, good enough for a round win. He'll advance in the semifinals. We can put a period on round 3. Minors, here comes the majors. Brings up now Jaden Nance out of Pendleton, Indiana, the 22 half-scale class. Power dragster. 803 the dial in. May Small here on the Tower side out of Indianapolis, the 2016 half-scale chassis dragster. 797, his chosen dial. Jaden Nance, Luke May Small. This one's going to count. Winner of this round going to get a bye into the finals. Looking at the ladder. And the win light says Luke May Small is going to go to the final. He's got 797 dial, runs 796 with a 6, 80 miles an hour. Pretty good pass. A little bit better reaction time for Jaden, but a little bit too quick to the stripe. 801 breakout on an 803 dial. So here comes Ava Valencia out of Frankfort, Illinois, alongside of Tony Virgilio. Ava's the left side of the racetrack. She's dialed 796. Tony dials in 793. Killer reaction time. Both cars dead even out of the gate. Down at the finish line, it's going to be Ava for the win. 798 on a 96 with a little bit better reaction time. 80 miles an hour, she'll go into the semis. Mia Robarski coming up now to Tinley Park, left side of the racetrack. She'll dial in at 8 flat, as well as Shelby Hall. 8 flat that dials a pair. Canby, Indiana, the hometown of Shelby Hall. 2010 half-scale dragster. Rusty Hall twisting the knobs on that car. So heads up racing at its finest. Here, quarterfinal round action here in the junior major category. Here we go. Heads up racing into the semifinal round. Wind light says Shelby Hall. 802, 79 miles an hour. Got to tell you, Mia went 8 flat with an 8. Had her covered at the stripe, but left 090 back here at the starting line. That made the difference. The reaction time advantage goes to Shelby Hall. So put a period on round 3 of the junior majors, and we got Super Quick coming your way. We're down to a field of 8 in the super quick category. right, here we go. Semi-final round action. We're down to 8 cars. We got 4 pairs left. We're going to have Jay Oakley taking on Allison Pros. Both cars dialed in at 453. This is a pair to draw to. This is going to be a fun round. Jay Oakley, Allison Pros, heads-up competition. Both cars coming out of the water box. Said Jay's looking to double down. He's going to take a hard shot at Allison, and Allison knows what's at stake here. I can guarantee you she's not going to take this round very lightly. Jay Oakley advances, 454 under 453 at 149 miles an hour. Allison breaks out by 2 to 153 miles an hour. Going to give Jay Oakley the win. So that's going to bring up Logan Jameson and Jeremiah Hall. Logan Jameson out of the left side of the racetrack, the 2016 Racecraft chassis car. He's dialed in at 1251, taking on Jeremiah Hall's Evansville-based dragster at 450. It's just about heads up here. Logan Jameson, Jeremiah Hall. Here we go. Good round for Jeremiah, 009 reaction time for the win. He'll run 450 with an 8 on a 450 dial at 151 miles an hour. Puts together a pretty good package for the win. Puts him into the semis. So Mike Schuttinger taking a look at the racetrack on the left side of the track. He'll be out of Lewisburg, Ohio. He's dialed in at 450. Taking on Greg Gaskin. Greg out of Indianapolis. He's dialed 453. One of these two gentlemen are going to go to meet Jay Oakley around next round. Heads up in the pit area. We need Super Pro to the lanes, please. Super Pro lanes 15 and 16. Scott Deffenbaugh, if you could hear me, you got the got the bye run. Should it take place? Scott Deffenbaugh for the bye. Super Pro, you should be making your way to the lanes. Mike and Greg in the heat of battle. One of these guys will take on Jay Oakley. Double breakout, top end of the racetrack. It's going to be Greg Gaskin getting a nod. 452 on a 453 dial. Off by 150 miles an hour. So Greg Gaskin's going to go in and meet Jay Oakley next round. So last pair of cars in the Super Quick Series round here with Jake Smith and Steve Hedger. Jake Smith, man, out of Terre Haute, Indiana, staging up on the left side of the racetrack. He's dialed at 450. Steve Hedger Jr., the last guy that's double entered Super Pro and Super Quick, 2012 undercover chassis dragster. 455 will be his chosen dial. The man comes up out of Independence, Kentucky. One of these two gentlemen taking on Jeremiah Hall. about a 001 reaction time for Jake Smith? He goes 451 on a 450, 151 miles an hour for the wind, and he'll go up against Jeremiah Hall next round. Jake Smith for the win.
All right, we're going to dance back in the pro class here. This is round number 4. Super Pro, you've been called to 15 and 16. Super Pro to 15 and 16. My potential buy is Scott Deffenbaugh. You get the parking spot under the crossover bridge off to the side, if you would. Joe Tillman, Gary Arola. Joe Tillman already with the wind light. Gary, unfortunately, got in trouble with the Christmas tree with a red light down here, and Joe Tillman will advance, taking it under by 2. And Arola also under by 1, but it's Joe Tillman's win on that pair. Here comes James Gibbs and Joey Ship. 69 Nova left side, 706 James Gibbs, 66 Dart, 683 will chase that 69 Nova, Joey Ship. Sportsman, standby call only. Sportsman, standby call only, if you would. Sportsman, when we call you, you will be on a ladder, so leave a little room when we call you to the staging lanes in just a bit. Joey Ship is your winner, all over that Christmas tree with a 007 reaction time. Takes it down there, runs 5 over the dial, and still got the win by 500ths. Gibbs dead on with a 0 reaction time, started with a 1. Then Joey Ship will move on into the next round. Jim Harness, Dustin Brenton. Dustin Brenton, 635 in the Nova left side. Jim Harness, Chevy 2, 669. I'll tell you what, both of them weld the Christmas tree. Winner comes out of the Jim Harness side of the racetrack. 1 over the dial, Dustin 2 over the dial. Harness was able to take the stripe by 1/8 thou. That was about the margin of victory for Jim Harness. Here comes Mike Covey, 72 Nova. Oh yeah, we got some Novas wall to wall here at the racetrack today. Ben Harold, 72 Camaro. The orange Camaro's dialing in with a 706. Covey, 637 in the Nova. Clean and green. Ben Harold out front. Mike Covey making hay down there. Winner, double breakout win goes to Mike Covey. Covey breaks out by 200ths. Ben Harold breaks out by 300ths on the double breakout. And Mike Covey's Nova will get the ticket into the next round. Jason Long, Dave Mundy. Mundy, 67 Dart, parked on the right side. 603 dial chasing. Jason Long, 72 Dart, coming in with a 625 dial. Somebody's in trouble. And it is not Dave Mundy. That's a winner. Dead 7. Taking the finish line first. Jason Long had a reaction time starting with a 1 and goes 300ths over his dial. And Dave Mundy will advance. Don't have a right car number over there on the left side, but it is Travis Booth's Mustang. I believe that's Greg Hillier on the left side. 707, Travis Booth, 802. That is Greg Hillier over there on the left side. The number is wrong on the car, but we know who the driver is. First perfect light of the day was Greg Hillier. There we go. Out of Plainfield, 66 Mustang. Travis is away. Here comes Greg. Finish line, double breakout win goes to Travis Booth. Travis breaks out by 8 thou. Greg breaks out by 200ths, and Travis will advance. This is pro round number 4. Gage Brenton steps in, 72 Nova. Scott Stillings, the beautiful 98 Grand Am with an engine that'll just make you smile every time you hear it go down the racetrack. Scott Stillings takes this win going away, 571 off the 564. He had room to spare as Gage Britton uncharacteristically misses the tree and basically coasts across the finish line, 677, 84 miles an hour, and Scott Stillings will return next round. Austin Day, Frank Valencia, Austin, 79 Malibu, 651 dial right side, final pair in pro class. Frank Valencia, 618 dial, will be the chaser out of the west side of the racetrack. Holy smokes. Identical reaction times at the hit. Frank Valencia taking the win. Austin Day took the finish line by 200ths and breaks out by the same number, 200ths. Frank will take it into the next round. He's 619 on the safe side of the 618 dial. All right, Sportsman Cars will bring you up to lane 13 and 14. Leave a little space. You are on a ladder. Algeier Performance. Sportsman Cars to 13 and 14. You are on a ladder. Leave a little space so they can get you paired up. Ready to hop back in? Or you... All right, Dennis will call the Super Pro. This is round 4.
Round 4 action with Cody Allenball and Doug Foley Jr. Cody's pulling up into the water box here, left side of the racetrack. Little S10 pickup truck out of Terre Haute, Indiana. He's dialed 662. His opponent here at the tower side is going to be Doug Foley Jr. Dragster here is dialed 463. So just about 2 seconds the difference between a door car and a dragster. Fair to draw to. Look at the reaction times. 005 for Cody Allen, and he couldn't pull a win out of it. It took a 001 reaction time by Doug Foley. Runs dead on a number with a 3, a 1,000 package at 147 miles an hour. It's getting better. I'm getting tired, and these guys are just getting better out there. Doug Foley with a 1,000 package goes into the next round. That's going to bring up our next pair. We'll take a look now at Cody Knott and Jonathan Wagner. Cody Knott, the guy out of Greencastle, Indiana. He's dialed 666 alongside Jonathan Wagner's Chandler, Indiana-based dragster. He's 452 on the dial. Hey, bike final. We'll get you guys through the lanes. Come on up alongside lane 11. Bike final. Up alongside lane 11. So Cody Knott, Jonathan Wagner. Taking a look at each other right now. There goes Cody. He goes red. Jonathan Wagner making his way down the left side of the racetrack. He already sees the wind light shining bright up on top of the scoreboard. 453 and a 452. 151 miles an hour. That's going to bring up Kyle Darr and Ray Boyer. Kyle Darr left side of the racetrack. The dragster backing up from burnout. He's down at 446. Ray Boyer just completing his burnout process. The man out of Logansport, Indiana, the 79 Z28, dials the car to a 635. 486 on the dragster, 635 on a door car. You can do the math. Sportsman Eliminator, we need you to the staging lanes at this time. Sportsman Eliminator, to the lanes. You guys are on the ladder. Looks like we're going to get through this program here tonight. Wind light says Ray Boyer. 635 on a 635. Better reaction time. 635, a little bit of change at 107 miles an hour for the win. Nicole Medicis and Ashley Cole. Lovely and talented young ladies. Nicole comes to our starting line. Shows her address out of Palmetto, Florida. I know she used to run up around Illinois. 487, her chosen dial, and Ashley Cole, a local hero out of Avon, Indiana, her 63 Corvette. Her and Mark. 529 will be her chosen dial. So it's 529 to a 487. Here we go. Ashley Cole turns on the wind light. 530 on a 529 with an 010 reaction time. 128 miles an hour. She's not getting tired yet. Nathan Jones and Michael Smith. Nate out on the left side out of Wheatland, Indiana. The S10 pickup trucks dialed in 630. 570 the dial in for Mike Smith. Nova here on the tower side. Attention in the pits. Super quick to the staging lanes, please. Super quick to the staging lanes. Junior dragsters to the lanes. So both cars set and ready. Flash yellow and green. A little bit of red for Nathan Jones. That gives Michael Smith the win. Looking for a 570. He'll run 571 at 121 miles an hour. Michael Smith advances into the next round. Wesley Wells and James Gibbs. Wesley in Reese Gilman dragster this round. Greenwood, Indiana-based runner. He's dialed a 507 alongside of James Gibbs. Mooresville, Indiana, 66 start. 683. Get the dial in on the Mopar. .005 reaction time for Wesley Wells. That'll put him into the next round with a 508 and a 507 at 134 miles an hour. Next pair up. Backing up from the burnout left side of the racetrack is going to be Tony Virgilio, the Cloverdale, Indiana-based runner. 494, his chosen dial, alongside of Joey Ship. Joey rolls in. He's dialed in at 508. We need Super Quick and Juniors to the lanes, please. Super Quick and Juniors. Y'all know where to go. Well, looks like the end of the night for Joey Ship as he's a little late off the line. He breaks out trying to fend off Tony Virgilio's charge. Tony goes 496 on a 494 with a 014 reaction time. It's going to send Tony into the next round at 134 miles an hour. Here comes Braden Bowden. These kids we were talking about grew up in junior dragsters. Well, he's still in competition out here tonight. First race of the season for Brady. He's doing a great job. Manuka, Illinois, his hometown. Alongside of P.J. Thomas. P.J. 68, well, third gen Camaro. It says 68 Charger. I wonder if we got a right number there. Wind light says Braden Bowden on a double breakout situation. Braden closer to the dial by a thou. He breaks out 144 miles an hour. A little bit better reaction time for the young man out of Manuka as well. Cody Wiggins, Tom Small, getting set and ready to do battle here. Cody Wiggins, the left side of the racetrack out of Kelville, Kentucky, is El Camino, 626 the dial. Alongside of Tom Small, 68 Camaro, he's dialed at 551. Super quick, junior dragsters. You should be making your way to the staging lanes at this time. Super quick, junior dragsters. This is your call. Wind light says Cody Wiggins. Dragster goes 632 on a 626 with a 009 reaction time. Brings up now Dustin Britton and Steve Hedger Jr. Dustin Britton out of Rosedale. The 69 Nova just complete his burnout. And Steve Hedger. The one guy left, still double entered in super quick category. Right now he's taking a look at pro category 455, his chosen dial. So Dustin Bretton's going to get the lead first. Steve Hedger's going to have to track him down. And Steve's going to stay double enter. As he wins this round, 456 out of 55, dialed at 152 miles an hour. Steve Hedger advances. Scott Devenbaugh, Scott Stillings. Down at the stripe, it's Scott for the win. Scott Devenbaugh, 5:59 on a 5:57. Better reaction time. Goes into the next round at 114 miles an hour. So that completes round 3, Super Pro category. Should be sportsman cars coming up next. I'll turn the microphone over to Ron Ruggles. Let him tell you what he knows about sportsman category.
All right, thank you, Dennis. As we just about got all of our classes on a ladder. All right, hopefully all of our junior minors made it to lane 12 and junior majors to lane 11. JEGS Super Quick. Hopefully you've made it back to where you need to be. All righty, Algar Performance Parts Sportsman Cars. We're trying to get them down to the semifinals. We'll start out with the bye run, Ron Bird. Putting a 12:06 into the system on the bye run. Ron will punch his ticket to the semifinals. 12:01 off the 12:06 dial as we bring in our next pair. 4 boxes to fill up. This is Joe Tillman and Trent Hershey. Trent with the Omega, 12:15 on the right side, 11:73 for Joe Tillman in the white Mustang. Looking for that quarter-mile wind light. It will shine for Trent in the 75 Omega, 12:17 off the 12:15 dial. Joe Tillman taking the finish line by 6 thousandths. Breaks out by 200, sending Trent into the semis. Tyler Dillman with the G6, 1877 dial will run the big 67 Galaxy 500. Bubba Mahiran, 1308 dial for Bubba over here on the tower side. So the winner of this matchup will face Ron Bird in the semifinals. Tyler rolling her in deep over there on the left side. He's away clean and green. Bubba waiting for the lights. And the race is on. And Bubba taking the win. 016 on the Christmas tree. Just idling across down here the finish line. 13:37 off the 13:06 for Bubba. Room to spare as Tyler runs 19:01 off the 18:77 dial. So Bubba moves in to run Ron Bird in the semis. Angelo Taylor, Chris Walker up next to run Trent with the Omega. Angelo, 1641 in the horizon. Chris Walker's Camaro 1172 dial over here on the tower side. Chris Walker with a long distance to make up, coming hard with that 67 Camaro winner on the double breakout goes to Chris Walker. Walker breaking out by 2,000ths. Angelo breaking out by 700, sending Chris Walker into the semis. And our Millennium Trailer Bike Final comes down to Wesley Wells and Robert Arthur. Wells dials 875. We'll put him on the left side. Robert, 974. This is our bike final. So Wesley Wells on that Suzuki and the Road King for Robert. Red light start for Robert Wesley Wells, our winner here this evening. So Wesley just kept the power applied across the stripe. 868 for the win for Wesley Wells. Robert, 964 at 134 miles an hour, will settle into the runner-up spot here this evening. All right, Deary Automotive Junior Minors, as we are into the semifinals, trying to fill up just 2 boxes to see who's going to be our finalists here this evening. Landon Rooksbury, 973 out of the left-hand side of the racetrack, as Wyatt Morgan will be heading down track first over here on the tower side, dialing in 1430. All right, Pro Cars, need you to the back of 17 and 18 for pairings, please. Pro Cars, back to lane 17 and 18 for pairings, if you would, please. Well, going to the final will be Landon Rooksbury, dead on the dial with a 9 as Wyatt Morgan doing a great job down there. 1431 off the 1430 dial at the finish line, but Landon Rooksbury will go to the final. Van Swearingen, 893 dial over here on the tower side, will face Levi Rooksbury, 909. Will it be an all Rooksbury final? Well, not if Van Swearingen has anything to say about it. The 6'6 Apparel sponsored junior dragster with an 893 dial tower side, 909. Here we go. Junior majors will be right behind them as they are working their way up to the water box. And Van Swearingen will punch the ticket into the final to run Landon Rooksbury, 893, dead on the dial with a 9. Levi breaking out down there at the finish line. And we'll put Van into the final. All right, Deary Automotive Majors rolling up to the starting line area. This is Ava Valencia and Shelby Hall. Trying to move them into the finals. Luke May Small has the bye run. Already punching their ticket into the final. Shelby Hall, 802 dial right side, and it'll be Shelby Hall with a win. Before I could get Ava Valencia's name out, a red light is shining over there for Ava. Shelby Hall takes it down her, 796. Will go into the final to run Luke May Small for the junior major category. All right, again, Pro Cars, we do need you back to 17 and 18 for round number 5.
So it looks like Luke May Small is going to make a solo pass. Goes into the final round? Semi-final round. Semi-final round. Oh, going to the finals. All right. Finally made a final. 796 on a 795, 81 miles an hour. I'm just going to put Luke into the final round here. We got Super Quick coming your way. Semi-final round with Jake Smith and Hall and Jay Oakley and Greg Gaskin. All righty, here we go. Greg Gaskin and all right, here we go. Greg Gaskin and Jay Oakley. Semi-final round action. One of these two gentlemen is going to the final. We got Greg's dialed in at 453. It's 453 dialing for Jay Oakley. They're going to take him to the stripe for the decision here tonight. Greg Gaskin, Jay Oakley, semi-final round action. Heads up on the line, down at the stripe. It's going to be Greg Gaskin. Goes into the final round with a 454 and a 453 at 143 miles an hour. And that's going to bring up our next pair, Jake Smith and Jeremiah Hall. Jake Smith on the left side of the racetrack out of Terre Haute. He's dialed in at 450. So is Jeremiah Hall. Another heads-up race here, Jeremiah and Jake Smith. Number 1 and number 3 qualifiers here today in the heat of battle. Super Pro to the lanes, please. We need Super Pro to the lanes. Super Pro, this is your call. You know where you should be. Head on down the staging lanes and we'll get this show on the road. Right now, Jake Smith, Jeremiah Hall, sizing each other up, heads up racing, 450 a pair. Wow, this is a real close one here. Jake Smith, Jeremiah Hall. Wind light says Jeremiah. 011 reaction time for Jeremiah. He runs 450 with a 1 on that 450 pass, 151 miles an hour. Jeremiah Hall going the final round, and he'll come up to face Greg Gaskin. Super Pro, we need you to the staging lanes at this time, please. Super Pro, report to staging. Quarterfinal round action here in Pro ET with Travis Booth and Jim Harness. Getting set, ready to go. Travis, 799 his dial, 669 to dial in for Jim Harness. So we're down to a field of 8 here at Pro ET. Top end of the racetrack, Jim Harness tries to reel him in. Not enough track for him. Travis Booth is going to take the win. 8:02 at 7:99. Good safe pass for Travis. Looking over his shoulder, stabs the brakes 80 miles an hour. Next pair up, Joey Ship coming out of the water box left side of the racetrack. He's down at 7:05, taking on Joe Tillman. Brownsburg, Indiana base runner 7:51 his dial. Nova Mustang matchup here. Win light says Tillman. Joe Tillman goes 7:53 on a 51. Better reaction time. Joey left a little bit tardy back here. 0.74 reaction time for Joe. He had to push it to the stripe, broke out by 4. So Joe Tillman advances 7:53 on a 51 at 89 miles an hour. Scott Stillings having a banner night here tonight. 98 Grand Am, Super Stock Modified. 563 will be the dial. Taking on Mike Covey. It's 72 Nova. Mike's not having a bad night either. We're this late in the evening. He's still there. He's got a little bit of game for Scott Stillings. But man, I got to tell you, watch Scott Stillings go quite a few rounds here in the Lucas Oil Series. That is one tough drag racer. Mike Covey's dial 635. Scott Stillings dial 563. Let's watch. Boom, red light foul for Mike Covey. Scott Stillings staying alive, 562 and a 5 on a 563 for Stillings. He'll advance. 101 reaction time. Frank Valencia staging up on the left side of the racetrack out of Frankfort, Illinois. He'll be taking on Dave Monday. Dave, the runner, out of Cloverdale, Indiana. 603 his chosen dial for the Mopar. 618 to dial in on the flamed Pontiac Trans Am of Frank Valencia's. Valencia Racing family having a pretty good night of it. Quite a few rounds. Junior dragsters finally surrendered it last round. Frank just goes red. That's going to end his night. Dave Monday takes the win. 603 and a 603. Look at it, dead on the number with a 0. Left 045 back here at the starting line. That's the package. 113 miles an hour. What a good, consistent race car. Heads up in the pit area. We need sportsmen to the staging lanes, please. Sportsman Eliminator. We have 4 of you left. You know where to go. Coyle will tell you if you don't. Junior Dragster Final to the staging lanes, please. Junior Dragster Final, please report to staging. Round 5 action, a Super Pro. Here we go. Tony Virgilio. 20 Miller Chassis Dragster, 493 on the dial. Taking on Michael Smith, 571. Dial in on the note. To a field of 11 cars here at Super Pro. Super quick final will take you to the staging lanes at any time. Super quick final to the lanes. Wind light says Virgilio. 493. He runs 495 on a 493 dial with a little bit better reaction time. Next pair up. Backing up at high gear at burnouts, Braden Bowden, Steve Hedger Jr. Braden stayed alive. The young man out of Manuka, Illinois. A kid grew up out of junior ranks. He's dialed 458. It's a 455 dial for Steve Hedger. Stellar reaction time for Steve Hedger, 007 off the tree. He runs the number with a 7 for the win, 152 miles an hour. Braden had to break out, and he only broke out by 6. Left 050 back here at the starting line. That's going to end the night for Braden Bowden. Steve Hedger staying alive, staying alive. Cody Wiggins and Doug Foley Jr. Cody on the left side of the racetrack, he's dialed in at 627. Doug Foley, 463 is dialed. Man, I got to tell you, Doug Foley's on a good one with a 004 reaction time. He'll run 464 and a 63 dial. 143 miles an hour, Doug Foley advances. So we're going to go in a little bit of a holding pattern. See what happens on the ground out here.
inside your fucking motor, because I got.
Getting ready to pour down rain. I hope it get up here.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you. Come on. It is getting ready to piss
It's
and
getting
pour.
ready to pour.
I know, we need to get back.
Glad my shit's in the trailer.
I have no goddamn.
She just hit the microphone.
Come on.
Where's the photographer? Before the end of the year, I'm going to outrun you.
My dad's brother is literally almost here.
We got two people coming. They'll be here in a minute.
He'll be here in like 2 seconds.
They better hurry. Because I'm getting cold. It's raining. I got to pee.
It's not going to rain.
It's not going to. It's been raining. Oh, okay.
Come on, Dad. That's a trailer trying to get some shit put up before
It looks like Michael was pretty good on the ball.
I thought he nailed it.
What the fuck did he do staging though? He bailed in that motherfucker. That's the way the carburetor is set up.
Well, I don't know if he's done. I think he had this done. I don't see you guys down there. He said he seen you backing up and he come the hell and he goes, what? I was like, I got down there and I'm like, what he did. Yeah, this don't look right. And
enough whiskey and mead, baby, and kill most evil. Part of the fucking meat. Win this shit. I just like it my picture taken. Yeah, you was doing a little driving down there.
Was it gonna be fast?
I have drive just how long?
That was dialogue. Consistently slowed up a number every couple hours.
So he beats you, then he gets in your picture.
Yeah, he beats me and then he's gotta give me money. That ain't very nice, is it?
He ain't a bad guy.
I was trying to stone cold him in the lanes. I didn't look at him. I didn't nothing. Somehow I
Supposed to be, but we're gonna flip him off.
He's stuck in my love now. Okay. You want to get pictures and I'll go get your envelope and a hat. Okay. Are we, you just want us in the picture or who? Come on, Gary. Yes, they are.
Come on in. I'll stand in the back. I'm the tall guy.
Taking my money off.
Number one.
Now flip off the video. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
You'll get $300 cash and a steak dinner. How about that?
I'll take the steak dinner.
I get the steak dinner and you'd have $300.
I'll get back there and get it for you. You guys park that.
Oh, we're right. Second row off
I
the.
did the same thing.
I'll run up here. I'll tell you what, I'll just run up and watch Jeremiah race some fine.
I hope you get a chance to do that, yes.
Hope this thing works. I'll back you up, you freaking homo.
All righty, racers on the grounds. This race is officially done for the evening. We're about an hour out, even to try to get the track back. And the JEGS Super Quick Final, they'll conduct that down the road at a future race date for the JEGS Super Quick Final. We are done for the evening, and the event's considered complete on the bracket side. And again, the JEGS Super Quick Final, they will run that final down the road. Stay tuned to Division III's Facebook page. Again, we thank each and every one for your participation here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. We want to thank Warren Evans for the production here of the live stream, Phil Oakley, Don Higgins for making that happen as well. Drive safe. Just a reminder, you're welcome to stay overnight. You are welcome to stay overnight. They will ask that everyone be out of here by noon tomorrow. They will be shutting the gates and locking them down. So again, safe travels. We'll see you somewhere down the road. Have a pleasant evening. Be safe heading home.